Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahawah, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to my Akim Wakwathim, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity, as well as the speckled bird that may look like the other nations, but are actually Yasharallah. This is where the Kawa Club coming at you with another lesson. Today's lesson, this is going to be about this video I had seen. I was very surprised to see this. Apparently, as the title of this video is saying, young people are getting cancer more than old people. And I was surprised, like, what the heck? Like, what is going on? And apparently, I'm gonna let the video play. As a matter of fact,
that there may be something in the exposures of this young population.
So, in other words, something about the way we live today is increasing our risk of getting cancer at an earlier age. So, what could it be?
Ultra-processed foods, the consumer group which says they make up around 60% of our diets.
A new warning on the dangers of too much sitting.
If you didn't get enough sleep last night, you're not alone.
Doctors recommend that teenagers get 8 to 10 hours of sleep every night, but many are sleeping far less than that.
There are many different factors that scientists are looking at, but they all seem to revolve around the modern day lifestyle, especially in westernized countries. The average person has become increasingly less active. The rise of remote working and office jobs has normalized a sedentary lifestyle, and the youngest in society are now spending their day glued to a screen. This decrease in physical activity, paired with the modern diet high in saturated fats, ultra-processed food, and sugar, is fueling our modern-day obesity rates. And there's a huge body of evidence linking all types of cancers with both decreased physical activity and obesity. It's important to note that many of these papers are observational studies, which cannot directly prove a causal relationship. But when studies in different populations have similar results, and when a possible mechanism for a causal relationship exists, this begins to paint the picture that this is not just correlation. Drinking alcohol also significantly increases your risk of these cancers, and it's widely accepted that smoking causes cancer throughout the body. Other factors include poor sleep and environmental pollutants in the air.
Slacky, so yeah, that was like, when I first heard this, I thought that makes so much sense, and I want to, because I don't fully know this. Processed foods are any foods changed from their natural state through washing, cutting, freezing, canning, or adding ingredients. They range from healthy options like plain frozen vegetables to heavily engineered products. Public health guidelines such as those from Health Services recommend choosing minimally processed whole foods and limiting highly processed items. So basically, processed foods like frozen foods, canned foods and stuff like that, it's better to eat stuff that's just regular, like, for example, like meat, what else, maybe eggs or stuff like that, but even then, those are not necessarily the best options to choose from. But it is obviously there you need some place to start, and one thing to acknowledge is that these young people, the young people today, or the people today, they can't cook. They don't know how to cook, all right? Or they don't, or even then, they don't want to cook, or even worse, they don't have time to cook, all right? It's all, man, I have to I have to go to sleep at 11. I have to wake up at 5. I have to go to sleep at 11. I have to wake up at 3. I got work at 4. I got all this stuff. Like, that's how terrible this is, and all those different factors are contributing to increasing the rate that younger people get cancer, and on top of that, they don't have or there's no real like exercising or attention to health that people have. So this is the dangers that we're living in, and the reality of this is that this is how Esau is. All right, So, and this is because we're living in that, like, oh, get things done quickly. We need to get stuff done, or we need things immediately. Instant gratification and whatnot. Fast food, fast this, whatever. No taking time on anything. And that is a result of the mindset, and as well as the necessity, because people, again, a lot of people, they don't really have time to, go through all this stuff, or even enjoy their own hobbies and stuff like that. Like, we've gotten to this point where we're suffering that much, right? Because we need money. Sirach chapter 10 verse 1, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. In what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority the city shall be inhabited. So the thing here is that the unwise king, the evil king, the wicked king, the people are going to copy after the wicked king. When the wicked king is pushing out, oh, let's enjoy fast food, let's enjoy this, let's enjoy that, indulge in this, that, X, Y, and Z, then people don't know to do this thing, to do the healthy options, to do the right options, because they think, okay, well, whatever the government says, and that's how people think. Realistically, they don't know. They really don't understand that, because I'll tell you before. And I'm sure if you're old enough, you will know that early 2000s, the people in the early 2000s, people, they were not for the Alphabet Gang. All right, Alphabet Gang was something that people hated, but when the government legalized that, then it was like a whole 180 where everyone and their mother, all right, just said, oh, it's fine, oh, they're not doing anything wrong, they deserve their people too, and stuff like that. Well, it's like, what the fuck? Like, it's like that whole entire 180 about it. All right, where again, because of the people, because that's what the people said, that's how things are. All right, so with that being said, for further it, that unwise king, that evil king, that wicked king, he is pushing stuff out to destroy him. And the thing here, let me actually get this over here. Matthew chapter 15 verse 14, let them alone, they be blind leaders of the blind, and if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. Because they're teaching these people that it's okay to go and eat this processed food and do this stuff fast, then not only are they killing themselves, because I heard that DJT, although I'm pretty sure he's not parading to be a nutritionist, but I'm pretty sure DJT, I heard people were talking about how DJT is actually not healthy himself right now. Like, he is suffering in his own way and stuff like that. But aside from that, the thing here is that for us, or for the citizens, the regular everyday average citizen, they are following what they see on thing. And that's the thing here when it comes to like influencers and stuff like that. The influencers are influencing the people, because a lot of times it's just these famous people are set up to do that stuff. The celebrities, like, people are doing all this stuff, YouTubers, X, Y, and Z. I genuinely feel that a lot of these people that are pretty, I'll say most, maybe 90%, I don't know what the actual percentage is, but a lot of these people are definitely set up and promoted to be, oh, look at these people, look at this, look at that, whatever, stuff like that. And then when you speak out against what the public believes in, then that's when you get ostracized and demonized and stuff like that. And I've seen that a lot. All right. And that's not even to say that I agree with all the people that spoke out against it, because there are some Edomites that were talking some racist shit and stuff like that. And of course, that goes against what, and not necessarily, but yes, at the same time, because Esau's trying to push a certain thing. So that's the whole controlled opposition, in order to make it seem like, oh, we're all love, we're all this, that, and third. But to give that false hope onto Jake, the Jake that are the raccoons. All right. Now, next major thing, very important to note, Proverbs 22 verse 6, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old he will not depart from it. And the thing here is that when it comes to your children are, yes, influenced by these influencers, YouTubers, celebrities, these commercials and TV shows and all that. But there's also the matter of the schools. I remember this because when I was young, my mother told me how to handle when people are bothering me or trying to bully me or some shit like that. And I literally said as a kid to the teacher, like, hey, the teacher was asking me, hey, Kawaka, obviously he said my real name, but he said, Kawaka, why did you do X, Y, and Z in response to this? And then I told him, because he was doing this and the third. And then he said, oh, well, why are you doing that? Because when someone does that to you. And I said, because my mother told me, because my mom told me X, Y, and Z. And then he's like, well, maybe that's not really the best way to handle going about it. And I'm over here in my mind thinking, like, what the fuck did he just say? Like, and that's the thing that really pisses me off, because that goes into an even bigger thing. And Slocky about going off on a tangent, but I just really want to say this. But this is the thing that pisses me off, because when it comes to like advice and stuff like that, it is the advice that they give, it is not good advice. Like, I'm genuinely telling you, it is terrible advice. And they really, I find it extremely hard to believe that these people actually care about their students or the children that they are in charge of taking care of. Because how are you going to tell a kid that, oh, if someone is bothering you, if someone's bullying you? And it's like that was the thing. Hold on, because that was the thing when it came to that. Because there was this one thing. It was like during the time of Disney Channel pushing out that whole stop bullying thing. And I remember, because I remember it was when the Jonas Brothers were all on the rave and stuff like that. They were super famous and stuff like that, super loved, but on Disney Channel specifically, not after when they all branched out, did their shit. But during that time, there was this initiative that they were putting on the TV shows. I remember watching it. They said, stop bullying thing. If you see something, say something, all that shit. And the thing about that was that they were, with all that stuff, they said in the statistics that bullying during that time had increased rather than decreased. All right. So I didn't even understand what was going on, because again, the advice that they're telling these kids, it just did not work. I don't know what else to say. Like, it was pretty surprising to me that not necessarily surprised. Well, maybe at the time it was surprising, but after it all said and done, like, I'm over here thinking, like, wow, everyone, when people are told to stop bullying, be nice to each other, they just do the opposite, and it increases more. All right. So as a result of that, it's like, okay, well, this just goes to show that you have to fight back. So why are you telling kids that are getting bullied, don't fight back, go tell a teacher this and the third, when, okay, well, they did that, they ask someone for help. And even especially so-called black kids, all right, when they ask for help for some racist kid, then what happens? The teacher is also racist, and they allow the white kids to get away with doing whatever they want. So it's just like, well, then you tell us to. It's basically the same thing with There's the same thing with trying to think of the word. Fuck. It's the same thing with. I forgot what I was saying. But basically, the thing is that whenever they see you doing something or trying to fight back, or no, it's the same thing with racism, where in racism they want us to not be mad, to not fight back at the racism that we were enslaved, so now it's your turn to be enslaved and all that stuff. They don't want that. They want us to just keep on taking it. And a lot of these kids, teenagers, whatever, they ended up taking their own, they ended up disconnecting from the server as a result of all the bullying. So there's that, and then on top of that, there's the constant furthering. Slocky, I'll just stop, but you get the point. All right. So as a result of that, the things that are going on, we are to, or if you have children, you're supposed to make sure to teach your kid. But at the same time, I understand and acknowledge that you don't have time to teach your kids. But that's the thing, where because of the inability to teach our kids, because we don't have time for them, what happens is that Esau ends up being that new alternative, all right, where his school systems give them the morality that they want them to have, so that they can fill their brains, fill their minds with the way they want them to think, rather than, because that was the thing too, because I had done this video, Slakia, you get the point. Slakia, I yapped long enough, but you get the point. Thing here is that the lifestyles that a lot of people are living, it's self-destructive, not because of, well, yes, actually, because of bad parenting as well. That's a contributing factor, but primarily the way that Esau pushes out how to live and promotes it too. So with that, I pray this testimony that I'm going to give all. Well, hold on. So yeah, but main thing, the thing here is that I will say that a lot of the things that definitely be more aware about some of the things that you see, because even with the schools, the children, apparently, according to a lot of teachers online, they've been saying that these kids are incapable of even thinking. They can't think properly, or they don't know what thinking is like. If you say, for example, working stuff out in your mind rather than just impulsively doing something, they're incapable of doing that. They just blurt stuff out rather than processing, is this the right thing? Is this gonna happen? Or let me work through this stuff in my head. If I do 1 + 1 and then 2 + 2, then that. But instead, it's just, okay, well, what's 1 + 1? Let me just push in a number. The first thing that comes to my head, I put 3, and they get it wrong. That's basically how their mind works. There's no working through it to get to working through it through steps to get to the things. And again, that is also a contributing factor to the degradation of people in society. Okay, so this is what we're seeing going on right now, where again, this is slacking. And the main thing when it comes to cancer, there is that lack of sleep. I will say, people's sleep schedules. I've heard a lot. I even heard people say, which obviously don't take this as medical information to follow, but I've definitely heard people say, oh yeah, you can get by with just 5 hours of sleep, or you can get by with 4 hours of sleep. Obviously, whenever I was younger, I would always hear you need 8 hours of sleep and stuff like that. And obviously, sometimes you can't always have that. All right, sometimes you actually do need to settle for less. But again, it's just it's all a result of how this society has become, where it's a lot more destructive rather than considerate to its citizens' needs. All right, and as a result of that, it is pretty miserable. I will say, definitely pretty miserable for the most part, that we have to deal with life as it is. All right, so with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahawadah, Hashem, YAHAWASHI, HAITIANS, double honor to the elders and apostles, the great meal, son of God, Shalom.